Action.
Elon is worth over $390 billion. Over $390 billion. Can you imagine that? And so right now, Elon Musk is running through the government, ripping apart government institutions, and he's saying the word waste. And now, before I focus on Elon, I want to focus on you. Are you worthless? If you were to disappear tomorrow, who would care? Would anyone show up to your funeral? Who's going to be at your funeral besides your mama? Right now, we exist in the age of ambition with technology and an imagination. You can almost create or build anything. And so a person like Elon Musk, you can judge any person based on their ambition. And publicly, Elon Musk has said that he wants to put people on Mars. Space exploration is his whole ambition. Not his whole ambition, but hell, he thinks in order to save humanity, we've got to get off of this earth because we're breeding too fast and we got to go and find a new home. Earth Part 2, something like that. And now if you take Elon's ambition and he take your life, for space exploration, we need scientists, we need people with very technical fields to go out there and sacrifice their lives to be guinea pigs. Why? What happens when you explore a new place? What happened when those Europeans came across the water and came to America? What happened to them? Some of them froze to death, huh? Some of them turned into cannibals, huh? Hey, it was a very hard time for them because America was harsh terrain. Now, on Mars, they ain't even got no terrain yet. We got to build an entire goddamn habitat for the human person to exist. Now, how many millions of people is it going to require to go into space exploration? And now, how many millions of people in the world right now are willing to sacrifice their life so they can go and goddamn gonna be guinea pigs? This is the negotiation that's happening in Elon's head. So as he's ripping up the government, it doesn't matter if the program affects your life or affects your grandmother or your children or your next door neighbor. It doesn't matter because a person like Elon Musk, he's not thinking about you. He's not thinking about He's not thinking about people right now. Not right now. He's thinking about the future. He thinks in order for us to exist in 1,000 years, then God doggone it, people got to die today. And I think that might be, that's morbid. Hell yeah. That's dark. Hell yeah. But man, how do you stop a person's ambition when a man gets power like that and amasses money like that? Who's going to stop him from living out his wildest dreams when he can buy anything? I know, man, a whole lot of people, they say, man, money don't mean everything. You're right. Said the man who doesn't have any money. Hell yeah. For every man who has less money to the next man, he says money isn't everything until he exceeds him and says, I got all the money. See Kanye West. Every human on the planet is playing a game of position and amassing wealth, and goddamn, most of us is on the very bottom, huh? If you make less than $75,000 a year, you are expendable. You add no value to this society. They're gonna tear down the education system. They're gonna tear down every institution. They're gonna say, hey, now can you fight for yourself? Huh? During COVID, what they did with our children, they gave them tablets and they gave them computers and they had digital learning. Now, what if you remove the teacher and give the child the tablet? You still got digital learning and you don't have to build this multi-billion-dollar institution, multi-trillion-dollar institution of schools across the nation. And all of a sudden you shut down all the schools or you rehab all the schools. I'm just freestyling and I'm just a man with a microphone talking to you about the future of America as we watch this man, Elon Musk, come in and affect all of our lives. And now this relationship with power, it affects everybody. And so, like, for a person like me on a lower scale, I'm building a media company. And so if you're not in alignment with me building a media company, then goddamn, I'm so sorry. But you might be expendable, huh? And the only way that you're not going to be expendable is if you add value. And so how does the American person add value? Collectively, when we show up, if 50 million Americans showed up collectively, like all the poor people, Martin Luther King tried to do this once before the Poor People's March. And you know what they did to that man? Ha, ha, ha. They took his life. They said, goodbye, Martin. And we're gonna lionize your name. And we're going to tell everyone that you were the greatest black man that ever existed. And you know what we do to the greatest black man that ever exists? We say, goodbye, Martin. And so that's supposed to be a social control to deter you from ever having the ambitions of being free in America. When I say being free in America, I mean, yeah, Elon should be able to have all those hundreds of billions of dollars, but simultaneously, you should have the ability to be a free and autonomous person to use your energy however you see fit, right? Like, for example, I don't think that you should have to be a guinea pig. Could you imagine if the United States of America, ordered by Donald Trump, says that we need people for the Space Force, and so we're going to have an American draft so we can test test out space exploration on the lowest, most poorest, and most vulnerable citizens in our society? Huh? They might even give you $1 million signing bonus because they know once you take your ass into outer space, you ain't coming back. They giving you your death reward up front to incentivize you to go and take the human person to the next level. Humanity part 2, humanity part 3. Once you get to Mars, you ain't an earthling no more. Now you become a Martian. Your body adapts to the ecosystem or the ecosystem that you have created. These are the ideas that are happening in America. And so when I'm talking to people who make less than $75,000 a year, more like people who make less than $150,000 a year, we have a serious problem because we have the most powerful device in the history of the world, these phones, and we can do anything. We can communicate with anyone. We can create anything. But instead of using it as a tool, we're scrolling. Huh? We're scrolling, and we're using it as a tool of control. We're imprisoning ourselves by distraction. And so in the age of ambition, you get to decide, are you worthless, are you expendable, or are you valuable? In the world we live in right now, there are only two types of people. There are creators and there are consumers. Which one are you?
The Greatest American Alive.